Hello, good afternoon, everybody out there in social media land. This is Dave DJ Wild, and here to talk about some more creativity. And I think today I want to do kind of a reintroduction to Galaxy Zento. What is that, you might ask? Well, Galaxy Zento, or GZ for short. Let's see, start out with, well, first of all, Zento is Japanese for journey. And I think any good set of stories should really give you that. And that's kind of why I went to that sort of play on that word. And it's a whole universe, so hence the word galaxy. And I just thought galaxy sounded good for the potential journey going across several planets and worlds and universes, things like that. But it's my universe and my brand, and I've written 3 novels and a couple books of short stories, and I'm getting ready to dive back into some more writing. But Galaxy Zento is kind of an all-in-one place, and you could compare it to the big universes like Marvel or DC, because it's just as ingrained in itself as those universes are. With in-depth characters that I pride myself on giving backgrounds to and making them kind of come to life. And there's all sorts of heroes. For example, King Falcon, who I will certainly get into in a future video to talk more about him, but he is the top hero. King Falcon is a cosmic force. He's the number one hero in the universe, which would be comparable to Superman for DC or Captain America for Marvel. And I have had someone say, and I cherished this person's input, that my stories to them felt like Marvel met Star Wars. And of course, Marvel and Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars now, but that's not the comparison they were trying to get to. There's not only great, high-powered heroes. There's teams of heroes like the Parahuman Activity Commission, which has Sandstorm and Electrode, and another favorite character, Nightwolf, who is a Twilight demon who greatly enjoys cream cheese in the wrapper. There's, of course, villains. I mean, what would the heroes be without the villains? And the top villain is Maestro. And Maestro is a bard, which bards are kind of a force in the Zento universe. Musical magic. And Maestro has his own form of incredibly powerful magic that blends altering reality with bardic music. And when he pulls his flute out, that's a good time to start running. But he's also the king of demons, and that's another one we'll have to get into more later on. But there's fun and funny. Another couple of them. There's Anubis and Horus, who lead a whole team of Egyptian-based characters, given powers and likenesses of the Egyptian gods for the sake of the balance. They're not the actual Egyptian gods. They just have the powers and likenesses of them. So the real people that they are underneath is what I try to go for with those characters, to blend into some of the historical accuracy of those Egyptian gods. And that's, I have to say, a lot of fun to write. Another great favorite is the Gator. The Gator is a character I developed when I was living in Louisiana, and he's an old man. You don't normally see, this kind of crossover, but not crossover. This kind of storyline where someone's changed into something. It's usually younger people, but this is a old man in his 70s who lived out in the swamps, was minding his own business, and some crazy scientists nabbed him and turned him into a 14-foot monster with combinations of all kinds of reptile and even dinosaur DNA. Incredibly strong, a reluctant hero, just kind of wants to be left alone in his swamp. And his stories, and the best place to start to read the stories is GZ Tales #1, which is available on Amazon and Kindle. So you don't have to worry about getting the book and get really fast on the Kindle to dig into the stories and see what these characters are like. For every balance one way, I try to create one the other way. And these are characters that have lived in my head for decades. And I used to say that if I didn't write about them, they were going to haunt me. And that was just kind of a joke I had for them because there was so many. And I've always been a creative. I've always been creating, and I loved making characters. I loved making people that you could dig into in a story and get used to and follow. And upcoming, I'm going to dig into some more of those and kind of show you where some of those stories can go. Now there's 2 GZ Tales. There's Volume 1, Volume 2. I'm currently working on Volume 3, and I'm getting ready to dig into a new novel. The novels that are out now are Chaos Rising, which is, as I give you the history of the universe itself. It starts on Earth with a villain trying to destroy the balance between good and evil and bring the god Chaos into power. Now, what is the god Chaos? Well, Chaos is represented by technology in GZ. Because if you look around, kind of what is technology? I mean, I think in 2020 was a perfect example of how, like, say, social media and the way people can access it and the way people can be influenced by it shows you just how chaotic things can be, and it can really be entrenched in that. So that's why I chose technology. And if you read Orson Welles, I think he even had a point a long time ago in 1984, if I'm getting it right. I might be getting it right. Anyhow, that's why that's an enormous, terrible villain that doesn't need to be set loose, and the heroes have to save the world in that case. The other books are books about my team called the Chessmen. And the Chessmen are called this because one person in the first book looks at them and says, you're kind of like chessmen without a king. Well, that's because the queen died in childbirth and the king was murdered. And to save the infant princess, they had no choice but to run. And in their running, they discover that there was an even greater coup planned to overturn balances in their federation of planets. They have a federation of planets, and there's people pulling strings in places that the chessmen wind up having to run into. And that's also that they can eventually go back home. And that's 2 books. There's Chessmen 1 and 2. So, all of that is available at my Amazon page. I'll put a link in the description. I hope you'll come in and check it out. This was just kind of a quickie to go over and show you some of Galaxy Zento and what it's like. And I love writing it, and I enjoy the characters in it. and there's definitely more to come. So I hope you'll stick with me. I hope you'll subscribe, hit the bell, and if you've read the stories and you love them, drop in and give me a review. Help me do some sharing, because that's how small groups like me get noticed. Thank you so much for checking in with me today, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon.